Hello, my name is Melanie Martin and this is my Pecha Kucha based on our final major project. I'll be explaining a bit about the project and what I plan to do. So for our final major project we can either do a game or an animation. For my choice, as much as I do love games, I struggle with coding a game. I feel doing an animation would be better for me. My first idea is a magical girl animation. I love magical girl animes, but this might be tricky. I did a magical girl animation last year and don't want my animation to have the same research and the same basic idea, even if it might be slightly different. My second idea is a crime animation based on the Japanese cartoon style. For this I had the idea of a possible crime, either a murder, a robbery or some kind of other crime. And my third idea is a romance-themed animation. It will be about a couple on a date and they will be doing normal, typical date things, but using imagination to turn reality to fantasy. My chosen idea is the romance animation. I really like this one because although it has fantasy, it also has reality in real life, which I don't usually go for. Also, I think for me to do something a bit more simple is good and hopefully wise for time. My primary research I'll be getting from going on a trip to some museums and just finding some date spots in and even around London. Maybe even casually me going out will help with this too. I plan to find some superhero costumes, some formal fancy evening wear, romantic spots and anything that I think relates to my project. My first artist I researched was Natsuki Takiya. I like her simple anime style as well as the romance design. I think this will help inspire my art. My second artist was Disney. I really love how Disney show their romance in animations. I also like how they start their animations with short animations. One that I think applies to mine would be Paper Man. I watched this and really loved the black and white. This is something I would like in my animation, however I do want colour still. For contextual analysis, I need to look into romance, maybe in other countries, possibly Japan and London. I also need to look into opinions of professionals, maybe some articles on romance and imagination. I'll be doing a questionnaire that I have made based around what people think of romance and what they would think of my animation as an idea. I'll be asking some students and some people around when on my trip. Some secondary research I've done would be Sailor Moon Crystal. I love the cleanness and smoothness in this present animation. It's more detailed, but I think it applies because of the romance in it, as well as the superhero look and fantasy and reality in one. Another is romance animes in general, like the movie Your Name. I'd like to watch the movies or animes with romance in to get a better understanding. These are my storyboards which show the couple doing basic date things like eating at a cafe and walking to the park, which they race up to the hill, to the top of the hill. Then their imagination turns into the couple being superheroes racing to the top of a building to see the view. When they flash back to reality, where they both are at the top of the hill looking at the view, they share a kiss and then credits. If I get the time, I'd like to add more scenes of the couple doing things which they turn to fantasy through imagination. But that's if I get time. This is my concept art designs. I like the simple anime style which I've gone for with some detail. My target audience would be females, any ages. I think the romance applies to females more, however males can like romance and fantasy just as much, and I plan to update my target audience after I have completed the questionnaires. My personal skill set for this project would be my skills for animation, my organisation skills to keep me up to date and on time, my research skills to find out everything I need to help, my planning skills in making the story and animation successfully. The software I will need is Adobe Sketch on my iPad to help me draw up some designs and make detailed ones also. I'll need Adobe Flash to animate and Adobe Premiere to add any possible sounds or music and to put my animation together. To record my progress, I'll be using Blogger. My animation skills will need to be developed and I feel made better with practice whilst working on this project. My aim for the final outcome is to have all my work, research, production, planning and so on all completed in time, as well as having a final product animation that is completed. Thanks for listening.